All right, ladies and gentlemen, what I want to do is show you some things with LoggerPro to help you get started. When you first open the program called LoggerPro, you will see this blank data table. It says data set at the top, and you'll see this large blank graph area. These two zones, these two sort of pieces of what's being displayed can each be resized. If you see those little tiny squares in the corner, you can click and drag and resize the data table. If you have multiple columns and you want to see them all at once, you can create more space across the width to see those columns. On the graph, it's a very similar situation. You click on the graph, that little square in the corner right there shows up, and you can click and drag that, resize the graph, maybe to sort of get it out of the way, and you can see something that might have been behind the graph. And then when you want to deal with the graph again, you enlarge it and make it easier to work with once again. Next, I want to show you how to load your video into LoggerPro, the video you made of your TripleShares launch. Go here to the Insert menu and select Movie. Think to insert a movie. You gotta find that movie. It has to be on the computer that you're working on already. If it was on your phone, you have to move it, copy it from your phone to the computer that you're working on. I happen to know I need to go into Downloads, Documents, if I find that. I have a file in this folder right here, and I'm going to try this one, see if that's the right one, open that up. Now, if LoggerPro does this for you, it's just kind of processing the computer and LoggerPro itself, both processing to try to insert the video. And so sometimes you have to be patient and wait a moment. Up in the top, up here, you notice it says not responding. Well, it might resolve itself. Don't give up yet. I've seen it come back to life before. Video files are not small, easy things. It's not a small amount of data depending on the size of the video. So sometimes it can take a computer and some software a little bit of time. Okay, there it is. Sweet. So you got the video, and now in the area, the working area of LoggerPro, you now have three things. You've got the video, and I can click and drag the video around. Can't really move it downward, but I can move it sideways a little bit, left and right. But in the corner of the video, you've got those squares again. I can shrink the video and get it sort of out of the way. And that would let me select the graph or the data table once again. Sometimes people will click the graph and go, oops, oh no, where'd my video go? I'm up here in the right corner, I'm going to shrink the graph, and the video's still there. It just ended up behind the graph. All right. So there's the video. I want to show you some things with the video. You're going to have to do some work here. Down below, along the bottom edge, you do see some controls down here, right? Like play, stop, sort of move backward, and then like fast forward and fast reverse. And there is also this button down here, and then this one here, and this is the one you're going to want to open up. So I'm going to move this whole video just a little bit to the center. That's going to make some room. When I click that, this new set of buttons on the right-hand side opens up. And we're going to have to use some of these. And so you can see in the video, I've got this ruler visible. All right, you guys had a meter stick visible. Cool. Also, down here below, I want to point out these controls. This is a little, what do you call it? Progress bar, I guess. Oh, now you see projectile in the air. I can click and drag down here on the progress bar, and I can move through the video rather quickly, not too precisely necessarily. But what's interesting is once I'm near a region of the video where I want to be, I can move forward right here, one click at a time, and that is frame by frame. In the video forward, this is frame by frame in the video backward. These aren't like fast forward and fast reverse, these are slower, frame by frame. I might have said they were fast. And then I could just play the video. Okay, but then things happen really fast when you play it. You don't have to rewind it, just kind of bring the progress bar back. Okay. You can, in the middle of play, you can hit stop. It's not going to pause. You can see this projectile way up here. Cool, okay. Well, there's all that information, and you're going to need, actually, these forward and backward frame-by-frame buttons. They're going to be useful to you down here in the video controls. Over here on the side, these are going to help you set up for the measurements to collect the data out of the video. So here we go. First thing I want to do is I want to come down here to the thing that looks like a ruler. It's called Set Scale. Click that. And that right here in front of the video, I have to line up the mouse cursor with one edge of that ruler and click and drag, draw a green line, and you'll see the same thing. I'm going to draw the line to the other end of the ruler right there. Now when I do this and I let go of the mouse button, LoggerPro wants me to tell it what that distance was. Now, this is not 1 meter, this is actually 1 foot. I'll just have FT for foot. But what you're going to do, since you have a meter stick, you're going to say 1 meter. And you click OK. Cool. The reason for that is that LoggerPro now knows distance. It has a sense of scale. Because LoggerPro can't see any of the stuff in the video, it isn't looking at the meter stick or the projectile. It's going to look at that green line, and it'll know that green line is 1 meter long, in your case. The next thing I need to do is above the button for the scale, right here, it's called Set Origin, this one right here. Click that. Bring the mouse back into the field of view somewhere, and then click with the mouse. Boom, and these yellow vertical and horizontal lines show up. And I can move the mouse cursor and re-click one time, and I can move the location of that origin. I probably want the origin down in the lower left area. But you notice something else about the horizontal line. You see that yellow dot right there, right there. Well, that is telling you which way is the positive X direction, and there's something cool about that yellow dot. With the mouse over it, right there, if I click and hold the mouse button down, I can then rotate which way the positive X direction is. I can change it. I can make it going up, backward, any way I want. And if I now move the mouse cursor like way out here, far away, I can fine tune the angle if I have a need to do that. It's up to you and your video and what you can see in your video. I'm gonna leave mine there. So then what? All right, then right above this origin button, right up here, it says add a point. Cool. Well, what I need to do first, I am going to add points to the video, but first I have to back the video up until the spot in the video where I first see the projectile, where you first see your projectile free, not touching the trebuchet in any way, not touching the pouch at all. Well, in my case, I don't see a trebuchet at all, but I go forward and I can just start to see the projectile right here. It's blurry, it's not clear, but it's just about right there. And so now, if I go up here to add point, up here, click that. And I gotta be careful now where I click, because what's about to happen is I want to add a point in the location where the projectile is in this frame of the video. So I'm gonna go right about there, I'm gonna go right there. I'm gonna go click right there. And so I don't know if you can see it, but right there is a tiny blue dot that has been added to the video, and that blue dot will stay there. But once I did a single click right there, did you notice how the video advanced by 1 frame, and now the projectile is up here? Okay, cool. That's actually to my advantage, because I need to know frame by frame where the projectile is. I'm still in the add point mode. So I'm going to come up here to the center of that blur and go click. And there's a new blue dot right there. Then center of that blur and go click. Once I get it really careful. Cool. And this is a process you're going to repeat over and over again for every frame of the video where you can see the projectile, and you can guess what's going to happen. It's going to be arcing up and then back down. It's going to reach a highest point, and then it's going to eventually come back down and roll on the ground. Awesome. And you have to add all those points. It's not that difficult, but you do have to go slow enough that you're taking care. Okay, so that's how you add data points. Now, this is important because the only thing LoggerPro is going to see is this green line for the scale. It's going to see the yellow lines for the origin. It's going to know which way is the positive x direction. By the way, if positive x is to the right, then positive y would be up. Okay, but that's it. Oh, and the LoggerPro is going to see the blue dots. That's all it's going to see. It does not see the ruler. It does not see the meter stick. It does not see the projectile. It doesn't see the trim shape. None of that. So that's why you have to do these dots. You have to tell LoggerPro where things are. Cool. So you keep doing that. And let's say you're really careful on this one. Boom. Awesome. That's a great dot, and the projectile moved. So now you're going to try to do the next one, and someone's walking behind you and they bump you, and you get a dot that's out of place. Or you know what? You're just like having a bad day and you're doing kind of garbage work. And then you decide, you know what? I want to do better work. You got to delete these garbage dots. So what you're going to do up here, select a point. And you come over here with this white arrow, and you actually have to select that point. And if you notice, there's a tiny circle around that tiny dot. Okay. With that dot circled on the keyboard of your computer, just hit the delete button. Boom, it's gone. Select that point. Circle shows up around it. Boom, it's gone. Circle shows around it. Hit the delete button on the keyboard. Boom, it's gone. That one's garbage. Select it. Circle is around it on the keyboard. Hit delete. Boom, it's gone. Okay, and those are my good data points. Don't delete the good ones. Once I want to start redoing dots, okay, I'm going to come back here to that point. Sweet. But my projectile has to come back. So I got to go back down here. Backward. And okay, that one has a dot. Go forward. That needs a dot. So now I'm careful. Dot. I'm careful. Dot. I'm careful. Dot. And so on. I'm following the path of the projectile, frame by frame in the video, as carefully as I can. Using the mouse, click, dot, projectile moved. Click, dot, projectile moved. Click, dot, projectile moved. And you just keep going until the projectile arcs up, starts heading back down, and eventually, somewhere in your video, it starts hitting the ground. And then you stop. You don't worry about it anymore. And you've got it. And then you have to save that. Cool. So what to do to save it? I would either right here, save icon, come up here to file, and save, or save as. Save as is even better. Save this in a place on that computer where it's going to be easy to find later. And so what I would simply do, I would go to the desktop. Save it on the desktop because it's easy. You can also save it to say a particular folder, but either way. You have to indicate the file name. What file name should you give it? I really suggest you name this file something useful. Maybe like physics, LoggerPro, and your name. And it's clear what you're doing with this. It's clear it belongs to you. It's clear it's for this class, and it's clear it's at least you're going to use LoggerPro. Awesome. And then save it. Save. And when you go to the desktop on that computer, you will see, look at this, that's the file right there. LoggerPro is this icon. LoggerPro 3.15 is live on my laptop. It might be slightly different on those computers that you're using. But here's the file. Cool. You want to know that that exists. And my recommendation is upload this file to your Google Drive or to your Microsoft OneDrive. Doesn't matter which one, but upload it, because there's no guarantee tomorrow when you come back to the computer that computer is going to work. And you might have to use a different computer. So if you have to use a different computer ever, then at least you can still access the same file by accessing your Google Drive or your OneDrive and download it to the new computer that you're working at the next day. It's a great thing. That's it for now, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks a lot.